Jimmy, what time is it?
Late. We're doing it.
Are we still doing the show?
Yeah, let's do it.
Who's going to do the intro? Where's Sweeney?
Live from Sweeney's living room, it's the Chris and Jim Show, starring Jim and Chris.
Okay, what a unique intro that was.
Yes.
That's very interesting. Well, you know what? It is a Wednesday night.
It is.
And we are coming at you. It's going to be late night with Chris and Jim, actually. Sorry, it's a little bit of a unique show. Jim, why are we doing this show tonight, actually?
Two reasons, Chris.
Uh-oh.
Reason one is we're both going to be down in Tucson doing our own thing separately. And so it's going to be kind of hard to, rendezvous.
Obviously.
Number two reason is you make it very difficult to record.
I make it difficult.
Yes, when it's not on a Saturday, it's hard to get a hold of you. For some reason, apparently sports take a precedence over the show. So I wrestled you up. I wrangled you. Hey, turn the TV back on.
You got a DVR issue.
Oh, okay. And so we decided let's record it on a Wednesday night.
I feel, you kind of singled me out there. Other things come importance. There's school, there's work, there's jobs like that. But
we all got to work.
Yeah, but I feel if we miss the show, I don't think it'd be the end of the world.
I think so. If you guys think that you need a break from the show, why don't you Facebook us?
Apparently, we're all
send us some emails.
The Chris and Jim Show, where quantity triumphs over quality.
Hey.
But anyway, so we're here tonight. We figured that since we're having a little bit of a scheduling issue, depending on when you're listening to us, just know it is Wednesday night. But we figured we would have a special edition of tonight's show for you guys tonight.
Exactly. We looked up on the calendar because I get my updates and my notifications. You know whose birthday it is today?
Whose would that be?
It is Will Smith's birthday.
You've got to be kidding me.
Yeah. So Chris and I, we had an idea. Since it's a Wednesday night, it's kind of weird. No one's here, or everyone's asleep, I should say. So we're trying to be a little quiet. But we're going to do a best of the 90s show for you guys.
We are taking you back in a time capsule. We're going to have a righteous and awesome show for you guys today where it is Chris and Jim does the 90s. And with that in mind, we dedicate today's show to the guy jumping off the Titanic and hitting the propeller on his way down to the ocean.
Thank you, guys.
We have a lot. It's a myriad of topics today that we're going to cover in the span of the decade. Hopefully we'll bring you back with some nostalgia. And we'll have a little bit of fun while we do it.
Top fives.
We have top fives of the yin yang today. We have top fives on top fives.
I love it.
It's going to be great. We're going back in time, Jim. What?
Cowabunga.
Indeed. So we were having a little bit of debate on what was the biggest story of the 90s.
Okay.
And I think we kind of agreed that the O.J. Simpson.
Gulf War. As Americans, that is the most important thing that happened in the 90s.
Oh, then please give us a history lesson of the Gulf War and Desert Storm.
Oh, we're going to jump right into that one?
Well, you said it's the biggest story of the 90s.
It is the most important. It is what has shaped our lives.
Oh, my goodness.
Basically, back in 1990, what was his face? The guy...
Chris Farley?
Saddam Hussein, the guy we...
Such a big story, you forgot all the...
It's late. I've been up all night, or all morning. I've been up all day, I'll say. Saddam Hussein, in all his wisdom, decided to go up against poor little Kuwait, and basically, George H.W. Bush said, you know what? That's not going to happen. We're not going to allow this. This will not stand, man. So basically, 34 countries went up against Iraq. We just... I think the war lasted about 4 or 5 months, maybe 6 months tops. And, the Scud missiles, do you remember that?
No. The biggest
Storm and Norman Schwarzkopf.
The biggest thing I remember about Desert Storm was Chris Farley's impression of Norman Schwarzkopf. And that's, I think, pretty much the gist of it.
That's sad.
It's not sad. I was 6 years old when Desert Storm came to be.
That was the biggest war of the 90s. That was huge.
Maybe it was 5, who knows?
Anyways, Desert Storm. That's my my most 90s thing.
Well, we're going to get on a lighter topic now. Let's do a top 5 to bring everyone the top. We have numerous top 5s to go over with you today.
Okay.
What do you think? We do top 5 movies of the 90s?
Let's do top 5 movies.
All right. You start us off with your first one on the
Number
list.
5?
Number 5.
Okay. And now, are these our favorite 90s movies or just the most 90s?
A little bit of both,
okay.
Actually, but it kind of they surmise the 90s in one and our personal favorites.
Well, let's pause the recording and I'll rewrite all of these.
Wow.
I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Okay,
it's a Wednesday. I'm a little kooky. It's hump day, right? That's what everyone says. All right, now my number 5, Jurassic Park.
Very, very good. That's a classic.
Shooter!
Steven Spielberg knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you got Robert Muldoon, who's my favorite character, who he just said shoot.
Yes.
And I just when the Velociraptor stalks him, and he has the prey right in sight, and then the other one comes from the side, and
They always come from the side. Now there will be listeners listening to this show.
Yeah,
so
no one could have predicted that the Chris and Jim show would do a podcast on a Wednesday night.
There we go.
Name that Jurassic Park character, Avi, audience. All right, my number 5 actually will go to a little movie I like to call Airheads.
Ooh.
Starring Brendan Fraser,
That's a
Steve
cult
Buscemi,
classic.
and Adam Sandler, where 3 wannabe rock and roll superstars, kind of like 2 guys who want to start their own podcast, break into a radio station, hold everyone hostage, and try and get their demo tape played on the air. Hijinks ensue.
They're a classic power slop band from the early 90s.
They had a hit song called Degenerated. If you want to listen to it, by all means. But
The name of the band was the Lone Rangers.
Thank you very much, Ian the Shark, for that intro.
Oh, man. Ian the Guppy. Listen up, Guppies. All right, so that was your number 5. My number 4, Wayne's World.
Party
Shall
time.
we?
Excellent. Woo, 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 woo.
Game on.
Game on.
Tia Carrera?
I like her in True Lies more, actually.
No.
Yeah, I'm pretty much right on that one. But no, Wayne's World was a very good one. I like the cast of characters of all that one. I think my favorite was Ed O'Neill as the creepy guy in Stan Mikita's Donuts.
Mm-hmm.
Was that Wayne's World 2 or 1?
That was 1.
Okay.
And then we learned the joke, I'll have some young guy when you order at a Chinese restaurant. They still don't get it. It still works. It still works.
Have you ever tried that?
No, yeah.
Okay.
I get too nervous. I'm like, what if it's a Chinese American, you know?
My number 4 movie from the 90s actually goes to Clueless. I cannot get enough of that movie. I don't care what you people say or thinking right now.
Hey, this is America. You can do since
Alicia-
Gulf War, you can do whatever you want.
Alicia Silverstone in that movie blew me away as a young boy.
You wish.
It was, that's pretty good. I like that one. It was incredible.
Shiver me timbers.
You have no doubt about it. She wore the little the schoolgirl skirts with the knee-high socks. It was it just ruined my psyche for quite some time.
It freezes your hair up that you need a scrunchie almost, you know?
Exactly, yeah, no kidding.
All right, so my number 4,
Go ahead.
or no, 3, Speed.
That's a good one. I'm
Right?
done with
Dun, 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 dun,
You
dun,
can tell
dun.
that Wildcat behind the wheel.
That's a shout out to all our U of A Wildcat fans out there that were in the movie with a sweater.
Yeah, exactly. That's it was. You went to the University of Arizona Wildcats. Good football team.
Shoot the hostage.
Thanks, Keanu. Brilliant dialogue on that one.
Hey, I'm tired of the backlash and hatred towards Keanu Reeves. I think he's a good actor. I think he embodies the 90s very much in a good way.
That's no one. I'm not really arguing that. He was a very 90s guy.
He's great. So that's my number 3.
All right, my number 3 goes to my. I'm going to get so much flack for this, but just so you know, it's personal preference. I understand that the other ones are better, but my personal favorite Batman movie, Batman Forever.
With the nipples?
No, that was Batman and... Oh, actually,
They both had
yeah,
nipples.
that's right. Batman and Robin had the one, Alicia Silverstone with that. But no, Batman Forever did have that one. Val Kilmer, actually, as Batman, Tommy Lee Jones as Two-Face, Jim Carrey as the Riddler, and Nicole Kidman as Dr. Chase Meridian, another very sexy 90s babe.
As if.
I could... You're careful, you're a virgin who can't drive. No, that movie was absolutely incredible. As a kid, I needed to see it over and over and over again. I don't know how terrible it was. Chris O'Donnell came in as Robin, and it just blew my mind.
Speaking of Robin, it's Bieber Watch.
What? How the hell can you do that in the middle of a top
Bieber
5?
was born in the 90s. This is the quick Bieber Watch since it's 90s theme. Justin Bieber, if you guys don't know, is going to be the new Robin in the new Batman with Ben Affleck.
I think you need to learn the meaning of the word formatting.
What?
Never mind. Continue with Bieber Watch.
That was it. He's going to be the new Robin. So that's Bieber Watch. 90s edition. Quick. Whatever.
I think it's your turn for the next movie.
Okay. My
It
number...
is late night, actually.
Yeah. My number 2, you're going to like this one.
Let's bring it.
I See Dead People.
My goodness, with the kid from AI?
Yeah, the guy from Always Sunny in Philadelphia. The Sixth Sense.
No, he's not in Always Sunny.
That's not him?
That's not him. No,
He's the guy with the tattoos, right?
Billy Joel Osment?
Yeah.
No.
Is that not him?
No, that was a goof FX play. You're like King of Goose. You should have got that one.
Oh, all right. Well, I guess, yeah, well, it's The Sixth Sense. If I don't want to ruin it for you, for anyone who hasn't seen it.
A decade-old movie?
Well, at least a decade old, probably 20 years.
No, that's good call. Wow.
Yeah, we're getting up there in the years. But that's my number 2, The Sixth Sense. I thought that's a good movie. That's very 90s. That
very
twist
90s. Yeah,
that we won't ruin for anyone
exactly.
when Bruce Willis is dead.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, then in Haley Josh, you see the dead person with this Bruce Willis.
Yeah.
That was good. I liked it. It was very
And
good.
it was, the first and last good M. Night Shyamalan.
M. Night Ramadan?
Yeah.
M. Night Shyamalan, I believe. So that's what it was, yes. All right, my number 2
Far out.
goes to The Cable Guy.
Ooh, show me the money.
No, wrong movie.
Okay.
Oh, I see what you're doing now. I get it. Now, I'm a little slow on the uptick right now.
Booyah!
Oh my goodness. Boom shakalaka. No, Cable Guy, starring Jim Carrey and Matthew Broderick.
Alrighty then.
Goodness gracious. I think this is probably the worst idea I've ever had for you. Jim Carrey plays a stalker cable guy who befriends Matthew Broderick against his will, who they get all kinds of mischief and trouble along the way, and he turns out to be a nut job.
Yes.
For those of you who are good friends with me, you know that I quote this movie often. You probably get annoyed by it, but that's why. It's one of my favorite 90s movies.
It is the best Jim Carrey movie, and I think if we had to pick a movie to describe our relationship as friends, that would be it.
The Chris and Jim Show. Honestly, if you guys want to get caught up on the Chris and Jim Show, if you missed
watch Cable Guy.
just watch the Cable Guy,
Yeah.
and you will get the gist of it. It's
And
exactly
then
true.
you don't have to listen to the show ever again. You can say "Hasta la vista, baby."
But you'll come back for more money in the sequels.
Absolutely.
Exactly. All right, and your number 1. Go for it.
My number 1. This is my 3rd favorite movie of all time. I think it is the ultimate 90s movie. There's no way you picked a better movie than Point Break.
Please do elaborate on what Point Break is for the people.
Okay, if you guys haven't seen Point Break, give me a call. I'll be in Tucson. I'll meet you wherever in the country. We will watch it. I have it on Laserdisc. Basically, Johnny Utah is a character played by Keanu Reeves.
Just to get really quickly, Keanu Reeves has been in two of your top five.
Hey, it's 90s.
Then again, I had 2 Jim Carrey movies in my top five.
It's 90s. Did you really?
Yeah, Batman Forever and Cable Guy.
Ooh, yeah. I forgot about that.
All right, so Johnny Utah.
Yes, so he is a hotshot quarterback for Ohio State.
The Ohio State.
Yeah, the Buckeyes, I believe, right?
Correct.
So he gets his knee blown out in the final game of the season, the senior year, so he can't go to play in the NFL, so he joins the FBI like any other,
Just like every other person who goes
any guy who can't make the NFL, they join the federal BI. So he teams up with Gary Busey, the crafty veteran FBI agent, and they go after a bunch of bank robbers who turn. Should I ruin it? Do people know this movie?
It was 1992. If they don't,
If they haven't
know
seen it?
exactly.
All right. Well, I mean, Simon Pegg hadn't seen it in Hot Fuzz.
Yeah, but I mean, he's English.
Okay, so they go after these bank robbers who turn out to be. Oh, and Keanu Reeves, to try to blend in, becomes a surfer. In the process, befriending this guy named Bodie.
Why does he have to blend in to be a surfer? I feel if I see
Because
Keanu
they
Reeves,
have a hunch.
okay.
They think the bank robbers are surfers, and they pay for their surfing around the world by robbing banks. So he befriends this guy Bodie by Patrick Swayze, another great 90s actor. Rest in peace. So he befriends them, and in the end, it turns out that Bodie and his amigos are the actual gang that they've been looking for, the ex-presidents. So it's kind of they made a remake of it, kind of Fast and the Furious. It's along the same vein. So good cop joins a bad crew and then is torn between his career and his friends.
Well, there you have it. The spark notes on
Classic
Point Break.
90s shtick.
And the Jim Dugan's number 1 movie of all time, or number 1 movie of the 90s.
Mm-hmm.
As for mine, it's going to be one of my personal favorite movies of all time, White Men Can't Jump, starring
Cut it out.
Woody Harrelson and Wesley Snipes.
That is a good
These
one.
90s puns are going to kill me. Yes, really quickly, two basketball players go around. One is white, one is black. Guess which one is which. They go around and they hustle people for money on the basketball courts in Los Angeles, and Rosie Perez is in it. She has her little Dominican accent, and
She's a
it's
scrub
pretty
in that
crazy.
movie.
My goodness, that was a harsh thing to say about poor little Rosie Perez. But yes, it's an amazing movie. It's all about hustling and gambling in basketball. 3 things
It is fun.
I love. So yeah,
It's got 2 great actors.
2 great actors indeed. That kind of epitomize the 90s as well too.
Yeah. What about, how would you feel if they made a sequel with the same guys?
I would not like it, because I think they did. I think it was called Money Train.
Well,
with Jennifer Lopez just replacing Rosie Perez.
Yeah, I guess. That's
Anyways, but so that was our top 5 movies. We keep listening. We have a couple more top 5s come up later on in the show.
Absolutely.
And right now, let's go back with some more trips down memory lane, and we'll talk about the other big story of the 1990s decade, which was the O.J. Simpson murder trial.
Oh
now, even kids, you were young at this age, you still remember everything about these details.
Well, a lot of our listeners are young. You know, they're the Justin Bieber types. Let's. Why don't we explain what happened?
So basically, in a nutshell, O.J. Simpson was a famous Hall of Fame running back in the NFL from the 70s into the 80s. Mm-hmm. In the mid-90s, he...
An actor.
Yes, he was in the Naked Gun
Roots?
series. I don't know, he's not. I don't think he was.
He was in Roots.
He
was one of the slaves at the very beginning. Yeah.
I didn't know that. And I learned some of that. I'm completely taking your word for this, by the way.
If a listener can post on Facebook proof of what I just said, you guys get a $10 McDonald's gift card.
Yeah, because photoshopping's not a thing that people can do.
What?
Never mind. Anyways, so
gonna Photoshop facts.
Back to the O.J. Simpson murder case, which you asked me to explain. So he was a Hall of Fame football player, and in the mid-90s he was suspected of killing his wife, Nicole Brown Simpson. And basically, after the trial goes on, there's guys like Kato Kalin come into play, Marsha Clark and Christopher Darden are the prosecutors, Johnny Cochran and Shapiro, the guy who founded LegalZoom.com, and the Kardashian dad. They are on O.J. Simpson's defense team. They have him try on the prosecution handled this thing terribly. They have O.J. Simpson try on the glove that was allegedly worn. The infamous quote, "If it don't fit, you gotta quit," because O.J. conveniently could not fit the glove over his hand. So basically, the prosecution kind of fumbled it, and basically, long story short, O.J. Simpson walks off.
And he's been in trouble with the law several times since then.
He has been a habitual line stepper since then. He's been sued, and he's lost the case in civil court. He's lost his Heisman Trophy. He's lost his assets. He's in jail, I believe, still currently.
What? Really?
I think so. I could be wrong on
that.
No kidding. That's an alleged. I know he was in jail. He might be out there still. I'm trying to do some research here. But yeah, so no. Where were you when you were learning about the O.J. Simpson verdict?
I was getting picked up by my mother from elementary school, and we were driving home when they announced it. So everyone was listening.
See, what's funny is I begged and pleaded for my mom and dad to let me stay home from school that day so I could watch the entire trial.
You're kidding.
I am not kidding. When the day they were going to have the verdict announced, it was like they realized they had a verdict, and then so the next day in court they were going to go over their final arguments and then reach the verdict. I begged and pleaded for my mom to let me stay home from school. It was on a weekday, and I
all swagged out.
And believe it or not, they obliged. So I was able to sit at home.
You stayed home
to watch the O.J. Simpson verdict.
Oh my God!
I would believe I don't know what year it was. Exactly.
And I'm sure you went to school every day during Desert Storm.
Exactly. Well, I had to learn about Desert Storm if I was going to talk about it. But O.J. Simpson, I had to be ahead of the game. I had to realize what was right then and there. This is like basically me staying at home was the Twitter of the 1990s because I knew about it before any of my friends at school. So
I would say that was the most 90s event of all time.
You just said Desert Storm was the most 90s event.
Did I?
Yes, at the top of the show.
Okay, military event.
Well, hold on that because there was another. Always his big stories all across the decade. But
are we off OJ?
Yeah.
All right.
Did you want to get some more on OJ?
I wanted to talk. It was huge.
It was huge. By all means.
That was the first trial where everyone was kind of like, all right, let's see how America handles a celebrity black man in court. You know, like, is he going to be just another guilty black guy? You know what I mean? Like, it was an undertone.
Yes,
it really was. They were like, "What is he just going to be another guy that gets screwed?"
It's funny you mention because I remember Mark Furman, the chief of police, I believe at the time.
That's a name I haven't heard in a while.
Yeah, he had some racial backlash against him because he made some bad comments throughout the trial. So his testimony again was kind of thrown out.
It was heated.
Yeah, so the defense really picked apart the prosecution. There, Marsha Clark and Christopher Darden are probably spinning in their graves right now. But
do you remember the judge?
Judge Lance Ito. Who doesn't remember?
I haven't heard that one in a while either.
Indeed. That's what we're hoping to do with the purpose of the show today is to get you guys just going back down memory lane. Mm-hmm. Another big story of the 1990s, one that kind of rocked the norm, if you will. I can't think at 10:17 at night. Was the presidential impeachment of Bill Clinton in 1996.
This one really raised the roof of the White House.
Indeed, you could say that the roof was on fire.
He was not keeping it real at all.
Seriously,
he was not fly. He's pretty fly. He plays the sax.
Fly was down at the start of this thing.
Whoa! Scandalous!
President Bill Clinton at the time was involved in a political sex scandal where he was basically was he confirmed about this, having an affair with intern, I believe, Monica Lewinsky?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
He got busted. They almost impeached him for lying.
Yes, because he faced perjury charges under oath when he came out. He did not have sexual relations with that woman. Was another infamous quote from the 1990s.
After he said that, he should have said, "I did not have sexual relations with that woman." Not.
Look at you bringing back you're merging decades.
You know what? We're going to hear so many 90s slang terms on Facebook and Twitter because of this episode, I bet.
We're bringing back the 90s in a big way.
It's coming back. Well, it can't come back because it's time, but
exactly. Though.
My bad.
That's right. Yeah. Right. VH1 has nothing on what we're doing.
Not at all. He was definitely guilty, and I'm not a big Clinton fan, so I'm happy he got busted.
It was weird. It was so insanely weird because even whether or not you like Clinton or not, there's this general consensus that a lot of people do like what he did in his 8 years of in his term. I feel this happened kind of in the midst of that. And there was this huge scandal because on the one hand, there's the conservatives and the people who were, against him, rightfully so.
Begging for something like
this. And so here was their chance, they had their chance to get him out of there. Basically, Nixon, this guy, this was his Watergate in essence. And yet, it just seemed to me that honestly, if this would have happened to George W. Bush or Barack Obama, with these guys who have approval ratings who are kind of hovering towards the negative side, they probably would have been out of immediately. But Clinton,
no.
You don't think so?
I don't think so.
No, that's just my opinion. I think that's what happened. That's what I found it so fascinating about this case in 1990.
No, he was a popular guy. He wasn't really at the
Hartman
time.
Played him on Saturday Night Live.
Yeah, I loved him. Phil Hartman. I'm watching you, Andy Dick, troublemaker.
Easy.
All right.
Allegedly.
He did it.
Gosh. Well, I don't know. I mean, you can't, a lot of, the big thing with that was, it doesn't matter what he does with his personal life. People wanted to ignore the fact that he lied under oath, and they just said it doesn't matter what he does with his personal life because, let's face it, Hillary Clinton's not the prettiest gal in town. But
that's just mean.
She is a monster.
Well, not everyone can be Sarah Palin in the political world.
But, I didn't care. I mean, if he wants to do it, that's fine with him. But, yeah.
So there you have it. There was
that's Clinton.
The Bill Clinton scandal of the mid-1990s. I say we go on down. We
do another top five.
Another top five list.
If you guys know me, I love making lists. That's what I do.
Really, I couldn't tell.
Yeah, I love to do top five everything. What's your top five pastas, top five deli meats, top five T-shirts to wear right now.
So let's do
right now.
Let's do. What do you want to do? Songs?
Top five songs.
Let's do top five songs. All right. So we picked the most 90s songs we could think of. I'm going to start with my number 5. It's OMC from New Zealand, and it's How Bizarre.
How Bizarre. Oh my
remember
goodness.
that song?
I remember that song every time I turn. Is that
every time I turn around,
that was a
see
good
your
song.
face.
See your face. It's one of every single song on this list is one of those things where you can say a little bit, you can say a snippet, and you just have to listen to the rest of the song.
Yeah, you're gonna YouTube it.
Definitely.
Your number 5.
My number 5 goes to Four Non Blondes. What's Up?
How does that one go?
What's going on?
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah, that song.
That one's pretty fly for us white guys.
It's the most annoying hook I've ever heard in a song, but you cannot help but listen to it and sing it, and it just gets stuck in your head, and it's the
bomb.
It is thebomb.com.
All right, so my number 4 is Kid Rock's Ba With Da Ba. This one blew up at my middle school. 1999. It changed the face of the world.
I was a huge Kid Rock fan. I'm not gonna lie. Kid Rock and Limp Bizkit in the late '90s were my jam. I was going through my rebellious phase back then, apparently, in a private school.
He's an American badass.
Exactly. Yes, he is. He's a cowboy.
Can I say that?
Of course you can. Why not?
I'd have to censor that. We censor.
Well, I don't think so. I think we're good on that.
So Kid Rock.
Kid Rock, Ba With Da Ba. That was a crazy video.
This was
back when music videos meant something, actually.
Yeah, they got the dirt bikes are riding over them.
Yeah, it was in a trailer park, go figure.
Yeah.
It was pretty intense.
All his heroes in the methadone clinic.
I think was it set in Detroit?
No, that looks like Vale, Arizona. It's the middle of nowhere. All right, that's my number 4.
All right, very nice. I like that for number 4. My number 4 goes to Constant Craving by K.D. Lang.
Now, this one, guys, I couldn't remember how it went, so Chris is going to sing a little bit of it.
I can't sing a little bit of it because that's going to be major copyright infringement.
You got to let the people know a little bit of it.
I mean, we could do a top 5 list of songs and can't play this. It's kind of a bad idea. But no, so it's just Constant. I think that's exactly. I think that's a loophole. I sing a little bit and you sing a little bit. Yeah, that's what we can do.
Yeah, she's an interesting cat.
A lot of people I've gotten to arguments saying that she is not a one-hit wonder, and I just say
she is,
and they can't do it. So there you go.
They may like her, and they may have seen her, at some community college amphitheater.
Really quickly, what do you think? Which decade had more one-hit wonders, the 80s or the 90s?
80s. We're gonna do a top.
That's a good debate for another show.
Yes, 80s had more and better ones.
Listeners, use the hashtag One Hit Wonders at the Chris and Jim Show on Twitter and let us know your thoughts. Which decade had
80s
more
or 90s?
One Hit Wonders?
I like that. 90s. That's cool.
All right, moving back. Your number 3 song from that.
My number 3 is Mark Morrison's "Return of the Mac."
That's a good song. I wish it would have
that one always got me on the skating rink at Skate Country. Every time they'd play that, I'm like, sorry, ladies, I gotta stop talking to you. I gotta go with my Twizzlers and get on the damn skate rink for the speed skate.
For you who don't know what Skate Country is, it was the spot for kids.
Wednesday nights
in Tucson, Arizona.
At least for my school, it was Wednesday night.
I think ours was a Thursday night.
I'd get so nervous Wednesday afternoon. I'm like, oh my god, I'm gonna ask out this girl to do the slow skate. And she'd always say no. Every Wednesday, I'd go up to her, and she would say,
hey,
no, get away from me.
You went up to the girl, though. It's because you. I, on the other hand, was a kid who didn't even go to skate country because I didn't know how to skate.
And you know what? Now she's pregnant. So, well, she's married, so I guess it's okay.
So she wins?
Nah, I thought I was going to be like, you lose, but that's good, since we're here on a Wednesday night.
Hey, you're in a sleeveless shirt.
I'm with a sleeveless shirt.
Oh, my goodness. That's such a nice romantic tale. It ties.
Kind of ruined it.
No, it ties nicely into my number 2 song in the 90s.
Okay.
Kiss from a Rose by Seal.
Ooh.
I first heard this song from my favorite movie, Batman Returns, or Batman Forever, in the 90s, and I literally, as a kid, in I was maybe 10 years old or something at the time. I had this song playing on my Iowa cassette player.
Ooh. Was it yellow?
No, mine was. I had a black one actually.
Okay.
But I had the yellow headphones. So that was a good song. No,
that is a good song. The guy can't catch a break.
He married Heidi Klum,
and she divorced him.
There was a good few years there. I think he had a kid with her.
I think he had a couple. I mean, that's pretty cool.
I think Seal did okay. That song.
Well, he got burned in that fire, and then he only had 1 or 2 hits.
Yeah, and he had dreadlocks at some point.
Did he?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he did.
That's cool.
Like Lenny Kravitz style.
Ooh. Yeah. Oh, I should have picked.
Are you gonna go my way?
I wanna get away. I wanna fly. That's not one of my songs though. My number 1 top 90s song. Oh, dude, we forgot to do honorable mentions for the top 5 movies. You want to go back? Let's finish this, and then we'll go back. All right, so my number 1 90s song of all time, Spin Doctors' Two Princes.
If you had, that's all I get. That's just that little right there. It just gets you going. You want to get going, keep going on that song.
Just go ahead.
It's Charlie Day's favorite song, and Charlie Kelly's song, and It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
On what show?
Yeah, that show, It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Oh, with the kid from The Sixth Sense, right?
I don't think so. He has to take over the Spin Doctors mix.
Ooh, that's true. All right, so that's my number 1.
And my number 1 song that surmises the 90s would be Semi-Charmed Life by Third Eye Blind.
Oh,
you know what's funny is growing up, I didn't really know anything about the song. I just liked the beat and just sing along to the words. And then I realized later on that that's pretty much all about drugs. And I was just, whoa, it was mind blown. It's kind of like when you figured out Pumped Up Kicks about a school shooting, you're like, whoa, that's crazy. That's how naive I was as a kid.
That is a good song.
It is a very good song, though. I enjoy it. So there are our top 5 songs of the 1990s.
Real quick, honorable mention, Savage Garden, I Want You. Chicka-Chiricola.
My honorable mention goes to El Chico del Apartamento 512 by Selena.
El Chico del Apartamento 512.
Exactly.
Oh, I love Selena.
Indeed. I could not, even if I wanted to get away from that song, I could not.
If I could just get my hands on that woman. I still miss Selena.
Are they talking about the girl from Skate Country?
No, jeez.
It's really creepy.
Going back in time to the 90s.
To understand the future, we have to go back in time.
My honorable mention for the top 5 movies, The Bodyguard.
Great film.
And it ties in with I Will Always Love You. Whitney Houston left us too soon. The
The song was made popular by Dolly Parton in the movie Best Little Whorehouse in Texas. That song gets me every time it's on the radio station.
It's so fascinating that you mentioned Dolly Parton because it brings me to one of my favorite obscure 90s stories of the 1990 decade. That was the cloning of Dolly the sheep. It was one of the most incredible scientific achievements in the history of the world.
I'm not a fan of cloning, so I don't like Dolly the sheep. I think cloning we're heading in the wrong direction. I think it's getting a little too close to the powers that be, you know?
I mean, let's just give it. Dolly was born on July 5th, 1996, to 3 mothers. One provided the egg, another the DNA. I credit Wikipedia for this information. And the third carried the cloned embryo to the term. She was created using the technique of somatic cell nuclear transfer, where the cell nucleus from an adult cell transferred, scientist, jumbo. Basically, you have 2 sheeps. One was just...
You have 3 sheeps, they said.
3 sheeps helped create Dolly. They took DNA from 3 sheeps, and then they gave her in hormones at the trimesters and all that.
Trouble.
I feel really proud of myself. All this doctor lingo I'm using. So she was cloned. Everyone thought this was the craziest thing in the world. It really
There's going to be clones in 10 years.
We're cloning meat nowadays. It was foreshadowing of what we're going on here. Face Off, I think, was based off this
Great
movie.
90s movie. John Woo, shout out, honorable mention.
Was Face Off in the 90s?
Yeah, 1997, I believe.
Okay, well, we'll have
Big fan of
our social media.
Let's do top 5 John Woo movies next time.
Okay.
I love John Woo.
All right, so we're back to Dolly. So you don't like Dolly?
No, I don't like cloning. I think it's trouble. Let's stop. Well, we're not going to stop, so...
I guarantee if I asked you right now, if someone said you could have a clone of yourself and you could be in 2 places at once, I think you would take that off.
No, I don't even like me. Why do I want another one running around causing trouble?
Sad. That skate country girl really does not rely you.
No, I mean, because now you got people, that are engineering their kids, or they want to try, where they're like, oh, I want them to have green eyes, this type of hair, It's
very true.
It's let's just let people live and die naturally, I say.
Fair enough. I like that, but I can't help but notice. I'm always intrigued by that what if factor of the Delta clone. So it's a little obscure. It was an obscure story, but the 90s. But that was the 90s in a nutshell. It was a very obscure decade. Now let's just do it all in one final top 5.
Okay.
Our top 5 favorite things that you can only find in the 1990s. I mean, basically just...
Products or just 90s? Things.
Basically the things that just sum up the 90s in a nutshell.
All right. Can I do that? Steve Urkel, number 5.
Family Matters was a very interesting show. That was a very interesting show. Actually, Steve, I believe he was not in I believe the first 2 episodes of Family Matters, Steve Urkel was not in the show.
Interesting.
Yeah, it was actually the show was supposed to be set around the Winslow family, and Steve Urkel was going to be a character every so often, but he, from his first appearance on,
just killed
it, and everyone wanted him.
Told the producer, "Show me the money."
Exactly. Then that's when we get into Stefan Urkel, and all hell breaks loose.
He was dreamy.
He cloned himself. Well, no, it's not really cloning. It's kind of 2 people at once.
All right, that's mine. Number 5.
My number 5 was the debut of MTV's Total Request Live.
Ooh.
I swear, every single day from like 7th and 8th grade, I'd go home, I'd tell my mom to put the pedal to the metal. Mom, this car cannot go over 55 miles an hour or will explode. Get home because I gotta watch Total Request Live on MTV with Carson Daly, and I have to watch the Backstreet Boys and Britney Spears, Eminem, Kid Rock,
go to battle,
fighting it out to see who was going to be number 1. I actually was that big of a loser. I may have called once or twice to get a video up there. I was obsessed with the show.
I called in when Joe Dirt was on. He was trying to find his parents. Remember that? That was huge.
That's very true. Very, very, very good point there. I would call it. I had friends and I would play the stupid trivia games over the phone. It was. I'm very embarrassed to admit this right now.
The house phone.
I was all about Total Request.
All right. My number 4, Spice Girls.
Very, very, very. A Total Request Live staple.
Yeah. Well, who was your favorite Spice?
Sporty Spice.
Mine was Scary. That's my number 4.
Sporty Spice followed by Ginger Spice, and I knew all their songs.
I go Spice, Ginger.
But you go
Baby.
Spice. You got which Spice? You just said.
Sorry. I go. What was the scare? I go Scary, Ginger. Wait, was it Ginger Spice?
There was a Ginger Spice.
Okay,
That's Jerry Halliwell.
Scary, Ginger, Baby, Posh, and Sporty.
I would go Sporty, Ginger, Posh, baby than scary.
It's like binary code we're talking.
It really is.
People know what we're talking about.
Right? This is 90s lingo. This is what we're talking about. You kids who are just like, what the hell are these two old geezers talking about?
That's my number 4.
All right, my number 4, GoldenEye 007 for the Nintendo 64.
Ooh.
It's funny, it's very bittersweet mentioning this game because you could not go to any of your friends' houses who had a 64 and not play this game.
Right.
Everyone had it. Everyone knew the code to get the damn golden
gun.
And I swear one kill. I am terrible at first-person shooters, and I think it stems from this game. I was the guy in the corner with Boris, my character. I was always Boris. As I like to say, I'm invincible. And I was just trapped in the corner, and then my stupid friends would come around and say some stupid 90s line like "Hasta la vista, baby," and it shoot me. My screen goes red as the GoldenEye as the music plays, and then at the end I get kills, 2 deaths, 35, and it has that little smug line that says, "Oh, you try harder," or something. Just get away.
That is a good one.
I'm all riled up talking about GoldenEye. It's on my top 5.
Well, let's cool you off with the Weasel. My number 3. Pauly Shore.
Oh, my queen, this is your kingdom, and now we're all acting globally.
He is the best 90s movies.
Biodome was a very good movie.
Biodome, Son-in-Law, In the Army Now.
In the Army Now.
What's the other one? He did one other one.
Jury Duty.
Yeah, doesn't he have one more? I guess not. Anyways, Pauly Shore.
Encino Man.
Yeah, how could I forget that one?
That's kind of a Brendan Fraser. Sean Astin flick.
Ugh.
Rudy, who's in that movie?
Rudy. That's my number 3.
My number 3, 90s thing, Tamagotchi.
What is that?
You know, so you can't afford a real pet. You can't get a puppy. You can't get a kitty. But you can go to Target or Walmart and get a Tamagotchi pet on your keychain. I don't know why kids at that age need keychains, but they have them. And you can control your little digital pet, and you feed it on a regular schedule. And odds are he died every 48 hours. So you have to go buy a new one. But you could not walk the halls of a grade school and not see kids without these Tamagotchi things. They were everywhere.
That's a good one, and the world is worse with those. Or for those, you know what I mean?
They're like the first iPods in essence.
What do you mean? No, I mean like people like the social media, the taking care of your digital self, like having a fake pet, it just
puts like the farmland of the 1990s.
Yeah, it was just
Farmville. That's what I should say.
That's trouble. So that's a good one. I like Tamagotchi. All right, my number 2, the big West Coast East Coast rap war. Of the 90s.
That claimed the lives of Notorious Big.
Notorious Big and Tupac Shakur. 1996 and 1997. They were murdered, never solved. And it was the big Bad Boy Death Row Records. That was big. That was intense.
What side were you on?
Oh, Death Row.
Death Row all the way.
Ain't nothing but a G thing, baby. Too locked out. We're crazy. Death Row is the label that pays me.
Honestly, of all people who would sue us, I think Death Row Records, they could probably use the money.
They went bankrupt, so there.
Exactly.
Come on, come and get me, Death Row. I'm still standing.
Death Row.
Me and Kid Rock will be ready.
I'd actually like to see a tag team match between Tupac Shakur and Suge Knight versus you and Kid Rock.
Ooh, that's dangerous. What side did you take?
You know what? I wasn't a big rap guy at the time.
You came in with the Kanye West and
Jay-Z's
exactly. of the world.
Yeah, rap music. Well, Jay-Z was around in the 90s, but
but he was just a little.
But until Kanye West, you asked me a question.
Sorry.
Until Kanye West became Jay-Z's producer, one of Jay-Z's main producers, then I really started liking Jay-Z because he had the better production. But he was a lyrical genius back then. I'll give him that. But no, I wasn't
genius.
You're lyrical. Give me a second. No, I wasn't really into the rap game, so I mean.
It was fun.
It was crazy. I know it was crazy. I remember watching the video on the newsreel on TV, seeing he was like one of who died in Vegas. Tupac.
Yeah,
that was nuts. But going back now, listening to more rap, I was more of a Tupac fan than Biggie actually.
Well, there you go, West Coast.
There you go. So that was
on both ends.
That was your number 1.
That's my number 2.
Ah, okay.
My number 1's gonna destroy your number 1.
All right. Well, my number 1 goes to the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. These guys were the biggest hit TV-wise of the 90s. And then when their toys came out around Christmas time, you could not find any of them. I wanted the Black Ranger. I thought he was the coolest one because he could break dance and fight, and I thought that was awesome. Luckily, I'm not saying anything, but luckily he was the one doll you could find in all the stores. That's the way it was. Yeah. But no, Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, I would watch that right before TRL. And I'd have a good afternoon after school for who needs homework.
You know what's funny? We were talking about this the other day. I think for the most part, all the Power Rangers, their color was the color of their skin.
It was
the racial stereotype,
very
you know.
Very racial stereotype.
The black Power Ranger was a black guy. The yellow one was an Asian girl. The pink one was a girl. The green guy, he's just a nerdy white guy. No. The green guy was the ponytail.
Well, the green guy didn't really come into like the later seasons.
The blue guy was
a nerd.
Yeah. The red one. Who was red?
He was honestly he was a brunette kid. Maybe he was American Indian.
He could have been a little American Indian.
I wouldn't be surprised at the racial undertones of the show in general.
Yeah, I think he was an Indian.
So that was my number 2.
All right, that's a good one.
Blow me away.
Seinfeld. How can you forget Seinfeld?
I'm not forgetting Seinfeld.
The one and only good sitcom TV has ever produced.
There's been more.
There's nothing I'll watch besides Seinfeld.
Don't get me wrong. I mean, I love Seinfeld more than the next guy, and it was the show. No, it really was the show. Honestly, to me, it has one of the most disappointing finales of all time.
That's
honestly, that's life, James. You can when all
the show. It's just like it doesn't.
You go to jail at the end of your show.
How else are they going to finish it? Oh, we gotta go. We gotta hustle.
All right. Well, so I guess it's gonna be tough for me to top that. But
what was your honorable mention?
I didn't even get to my number 1.
Oh shoot!
Goodness gracious! My number 1 though goes to Pogs with the slammers and the things. You slam the slammer on the Pogs and they flip over and you take them home. Everyone goes home happy when the kid has the most Pogs, and people would bet Pogs. It was nuts.
Pogs were good.
I had probably thousands of Pogs.
It was like playing marbles. It was an activity that kids did that wasn't Pokemon or anything like that.
Exactly.
It was actual fun.
Indeed, it was.
So Pogs is good. I like that one.
Pogs was good.
My parents never got me Pogs. They said it was a waste, but then they bought me a Game Boy. So who knows? My honorable mention: the 1990s Detroit Red Wings. There's not a better sports team in the history of sports than that decade.
Well, there is a better sports team.
Nope.
It's the 1996 Chicago Bulls, who went 72-10 for the most setting the record for the most wins in NBA history. I'm not even a Bulls fan, but that team was fun to watch. That was Jordan just gambling everything away, allegedly. But no, that was fun. That was my thing. Just watching the Bulls doing their dominant run. That was the thing to watch.
Do we have time to talk about Rodney King? We're at 40 minutes.
Oh my goodness, one of our longer episodes of the day.
Rodney King, guilty. Cops didn't do anything wrong. Your take.
The views and opinions expressed on the Chris and Jim show are solely those of Chris and specifically Jim. Do not necessarily reflect the views and opinions of Sweeney's.
What do you think about Rodney?
There was a lot of brutality in that video. That's all I'm going to say about that.
I'm going to say he was still standing when they took his mugshot when they brought him in. So that shows you how high he was. That he's able to take a beating like that and walk around afterwards. You got to be on something hard.
Well, I'm glad you're the one saying that.
Well, and now he's dead. Rodney King. I was looking him up. He was found dead in his pool last year. In his bloodstream was alcohol, marijuana, cocaine, and PCP again. So model citizen.
Well, that'll just about do it for our 90s decade in review.
Woof.
Are there any shout-outs?
I got a lot of shout-outs.
By all means.
Paul Quintero is a co-worker of mine. We want to thank him because he's the one that did the logo for our 90s show, which is on all of our social media website things. Thank you, Paul, for doing that for us. Will Smith, happy birthday. One of our big fans in Tucson. We've been toying with her, messing with her, Katie McLaughlin.
Yes, Katie. We thank you for going along with the goose. You're glad you're a good sport about it. And
thank you for listening.
For supporting the show.
And Janelle Jorgensen, who is another coworker of mine. I'll see you at NASCAR.
Okay, very
Any
nice.
Shout-outs for you?
Yeah, I want to give a shout-out to our friend Jenny, a listener of the show.
Hello, Jenny.
Jenny, please, if you would like to submit a new logo as well for the overall show. But actually, go for any listeners. You get your digital graphic design skills on. Chris and Jim Show might need a new logo. Maybe
new intern, graphics intern.
Indeed. So it goes out to that. Aside from that, that will just about do it.
Yeah, just a little sneak preview besides Long John Silver's, what we're going to be doing with Sweeney. For the month of October, we're going to be featuring 4 different horror stories. These are real life, true stories about. It is spooky. You've heard some of the stories that we're going to.
I've heard previews of some of the stories.
We're going to be.
I had to get a new pair of pants.
Yeah, we're going to be interviewing people that have encountered some crazy, scary stuff in the real world. So stay tuned. We're going to do an interview, an episode for the month of October. to tie in with Halloween.
With all that being said, fast forwarding to the modern times, be sure to like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter at Chris and Jim Show, on Instagram at Chris and Jim Show as well, email at chrisandjimshow@gmail.com. Aside from that, I am Chris.
I am Jim.
Have an awesome day.
Take care.